The seasons changed. I had to turn the page, learn from my mistakes, grow up to break away and lose control. It's the only way to know what the future holds. See thorns or see the rose. I rise and fall, built up these walls. They fell one by one. I'm so far down this road. I look back and I see planted seeds and watch them grow. Lined up like dominoes.
Well, welcome to the Broadway podcast.
Thank
Today I have the
you.
honor of having Shayleigh on today. It's really a pleasure to have you on. Thank you for reaching out to us. I kind of really want to get to know you a little bit better. This is my first time meeting you, I think, in person, like officially. So I kind of want to know, like, are you new to Nashville, or are you from here? Are you from somewhere else? Like, I kind of want to know a little bit of background story.
So I'm originally from Maine. I moved here about 3 years ago now.
Okay.
Loving it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maine is. I've never been to Maine. I heard it was beautiful. It's like maybe a port area. Like the seafood's really good.
Yeah.
I'm a really big seafood eater because I'm from the Dominican Republic, so
Okay.
I love seafood a lot. When you first moved here, was bartending something that you thought it was like it was off the bat you wanted to bartend, or you just came here for like something else?
Yeah, I've been bartending since I was 16, so it was kind of like a natural.
Yeah.
My boyfriend and I, we moved here from Maine, and we were in a position where neither of us had jobs when we moved here,
Yeah.
so I knew that bartending would be like a quick and easy.
Absolutely. And
job
I
to
feel
get.
like a lot of people that move here, they visit first and they're like, oh my God, I love Nashville, I want to move here. And they end up moving here a year later and becoming bartenders.
Yeah.
And that was kind of my journey too. I was from Alabama originally from college, came here with my friend after COVID, and I kind of got stuck. And I've kind of worked my way to Broadway, and now I've been at Broadway for like maybe 5 or 6 years. How long have you been working downtown?
I've been working downtown since the day that my U-Haul pulled up in Nashville 3 years ago. We pulled up our U-Haul, and I immediately went to one of the bars that I had online interviewed at. Went in, did my pour test, and then
the rest is history.
Yeah, I started working the next day.
Well, you're a beautiful woman, so I'm sure it wasn't hard for you to get a job. Let's talk about the experiences you've had here in Nashville. I know that some things have been kind of moving around for you lately. I kind of want you to be able to tell us just some experiences that's going on right now with you as far as your current or post experiences.
Yeah, so I had started working in Nashville at a bar on Broadway when I first moved here, and I worked there for a few months. I ended with them, I think, in July, and come August, Live was holding auditions for DraftKings and PBR at the time. All of my friends from this bar were looking to leave. They were unhappy with the management, and they were suggesting that I go with them to interview for, at the time it was to interview for DraftKings.
Yeah.
So I did. We all did like the group interviews, like when these massive bars open up, they host usually like a
seminars, whatever.
Yeah, like an open call at like a hotel. So that's exactly what I did. I went and I interviewed with them. And from the moment that I sat down, they kind of like pitched me these two business models. One was kind of like a sports bar, and there was, obviously like the gambling element with DraftKings. And then one that I hadn't heard of before was PBR, which is this kind of like rowdy cowboy bull riding bar. And that's so my style. Like I love a rowdy country bar. I love like, I don't want to call it divey, but like a very like casual, fast-paced environment.
Yeah, for sure.
Where DraftKings was more of like a sit-down restaurant experience most of the time. So I kind of expressed my interest more so in PBR, and I think that the person interviewing me and I were very much aligned that was a good fit for me.
Yeah.
And the rest was kind of history. There was like a little bit of a delay in the opening. So I think that we ended up doing like most of our training through September into October. It was a few week long process. And it was such a unique process doing like the onboarding with PBR, where any other bar you do like your pour tests, you go over menu, you do like a tour of the venue, all of that stuff. PBR is such a different animal. We had like 3 weeks of line dancing practice where we're all just packed in this room, like running over the same line dances several times. And that's for a bartender position. So that was something totally new for me.
I feel like that'd be fun though, because I feel like sometimes I think they've came up on my feed a couple times where I see like this girl, she's really good at like the bull riding, and everybody comes to see her and stuff. And I thought that was pretty cool because like when you think about Nashville, you think about those kind of bars.
Yeah.
And I kind of feel like that would be somewhere to fun. Like if my job was to be like, okay, we're gonna line dance, I would kind of like that a little bit.
Yeah. I personally, like my time in the industry, I've always been a like, how far can we push the limit kind of person. And for me, there's something about that boiling point of, you know, like the lights are going, the DJ's going, the smoke is going, the floor is full of line dancing. There's a girl like doing a backflip off of a mechanical bull. Someone's pouring party shot. Like, I love that because people are going to walk away from that experience and say, what just happened? Like, and they're going to live in that world of like, that was the craziest experience. And then you come back the next weekend and it's a totally different experience. So that for me was so appealing working for that brand. And it was such a cool experience to kind of like put all of those pieces together to make that big like magic popping moment.
Right. So I never really got a chance to go to that place as much as I wanted to. I mean, mainly because I work a lot.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like off the beaten path a little bit for me. But I did see, I think I went to like one like week when it had first opened. I liked it. I thought the venue was nice. It was different than usual that you can kind of see on Broadway. What do you like? So what's going on now with I think what's it, PBR?
Yeah.
What's going on with that right now?
So PBR, I don't think it was a secret to anybody.
Because like I was under the impression, I don't really know. I kind of try to stay out of what I don't know.
Yeah.
So like I just randomly heard about some transitioning periods that maybe they were going through or not going through. I don't know if it's something you can talk about, but like I'm curious to know what's the deal, because we do have a lot of bars that open up in Nashville. We're blessed and honored to have that opportunity to be able to have these different bars. But sometimes a lot of bars don't survive based on location or just based on the simple fact of like how people are moved to go into their places. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah, for sure. So I would say hospitality in general, especially in a city like this where there's so much competition and the market is so saturated, it's not uncommon for a bar to have to transition or rebrand or what have you. It's kind of a fleeting thing. The staff working at PBR, we typically would receive our schedules on like a Tuesday. For the following weekend, we were only open Friday, Saturday, and then for private events.
Okay.
Typically, obviously that fluctuates with business needs. We received a notification on 7 shifts, which if you work in the industry, you probably know what that is. It's similar to Hot Schedules. It's just like a scheduling platform.
I use 7 shifts as well.
Platform, we received a notification, and it was just a bullet list. Saying something along the lines of, we have decided to edit PBR's business model. This was a difficult decision for us. PBR will not be opening to the public, will be a private event venue only.
Okay.
If you'd like to find other jobs within the live hospitality network, let us know. And then it just said our director of operations name, his phone number. It was very like short, crisp. There was no conversation had in public. There was no phone call.
Well, I think it'd be hard to kind of to call an entire staff. Well, I mean, you do have people in your like that are over like certain positions and stuff like that. So
Absolutely.
It might be a little easier to reach out. I think when it comes down to stuff like that, email is just like maybe the most effective way, because it allows them to like kind of still be not directly personable.
Yeah, absolutely.
And this is unfortunate, really, honestly, to hear, because a lot of places have been like that. It's not the first time I've heard about restaurants and bars kind of having to just rebrand. But being devil's advocate, I just really feel that sometimes in Nashville is that it is so saturated that we become victims to somebody else's agenda.
Absolutely.
And it's kind of unfortunate sometimes, especially in the circumstances right now. I did notice a lot about, you were over like a lot of social media things that they had going on. I did notice that. Did you feel a type of way? How did you feel about that quick response to like, okay, we're not going to be doing this anymore? Do they offer anybody like any incentives? Do they offer another job opportunities for people like directly? How did that go?
Well, so had a caveat in that bullet point list saying, you know, if you want to work for any of our other locations, they still have 2 different concepts. DraftKings is still open and they have one other concept as well.
In Nashville?
Yep, in Nashville. Okay. In that bullet point list, they said, reach out to us and let us know if you want to work for one of those. But the unique thing about PBR is that it's not just bartenders and bottle girls. There are girls hired specifically for entertainment, and that job doesn't directly translate. Because if you're hired to be a line dancer or you're hired to be a bull rider.
Right, that's the only thing you're doing.
Yeah.
And so if you go to DraftKings, I guess we don't have a dancer for this. So you're kind of like screwed.
Right. And that's not to say that they couldn't learn to serve, they couldn't learn to host, but there isn't a direct comp for that role here in Nashville. There was also kind of this like ambiguous offer that if anybody's interested in working in any of their other locations, to let them know. Obviously for somebody who's, you know, living paycheck to paycheck, it's not feasible to up and leave their job
I
for
do
a different
agree.
city.
And kind of piggybacking on that a little bit, people that don't, because I'm talking to an audience right now. So like people that don't realize how the service industry kind of works, I kind of want to dissect this a little bit when it comes to these situations. Yeah. So basically, a lot of times we open a building, a venue, right? Yeah. And we go through a process of either leaving a job, waiting on a job, or doing both in between, depending on the income. And you're kind of in the at the beck and call of when they're going to open. Sometimes openings are delayed, right? Yeah. In this case, I think PBR had a delay, which it happens. The more I helped open was a delay too. Just happens.
It's so standard,
But that money that you're supposed to be making in between the time is not there. So like people have to realize that the industry is a forever fluctuating income.
Absolutely.
That's why we talked about in my last podcast about how the importance of tipping is, because it directly affects us and our incomes. And then we go through processes like this. Yeah. We're waiting to get, hopefully the place is busy when we first open. You know, you would think in Nashville, but when you have so many things like going on in between, and the price of living here is really high. So I want people to really kind of understand that scenario.
For sure.
So when it came to you, what's the transition period for you now? Like what's going on? Like do you have other friends that are also in this predicament? Like,
I was very fortunate. I've built a lot of great connections since I've been in Nashville. I had, offers standing the second that the news broke. Yeah. I was very fortunate in that way. I don't want to speak on anyone's behalf directly, but I did watch, we have a staff group chat, and I just watched it explode with, oh my God, what am I going to do? How am I going to pay my bills? I'm literally crying. Exactly what you'd expect in that moment of panic when I think the problem with having that news be released just as like a bullet point list and not a face-to-face conversation or a staff meeting is that there's no immediate access to have your questions answered.
Yeah, and there's no forewarning either.
Right.
And also I want to kind of preface, I know that this is no knock to any company. It's more so of an alertness of what goes on in our day-to-day lives. And it's kind of unfortunate that we can be victims, but we do have the opportunity to make a lot of money in this city, and we do have the opportunity to meet people and build brands for ourselves. But for those who don't do that and just solely work, what do they do? You know what I mean?
Right.
So I think this is a good opportunity to bring awareness to some things like that, because I feel like I told one of my other guests, I was like, we don't bring things like this to the light in a professional manner, nothing gets done. So does anything personal you want to share? Does anybody have I don't want to bring anybody else's stories to this platform that aren't able to be here to personally, but if there's things that you'd like to share, I'm all ears.
Yeah. So I'd love to kind of just highlight a version of circumstances that I think several of these employees are going
Mhm.
through. One employee said specifically, had I been given any kind of notice, I wouldn't be in the spot that I am financially. The way this was handled has left people scrambling to find something else with absolutely no notice. Time, money, and energy was spent into working here, money that I did not make back, or at least have the chance to. The way that this was handled was downright wrong. Obviously, that's her opinion.
Yeah.
She said she felt
I do want to comment on that.
Yeah.
And that's a great. I love that. That was the first one because people's time and I'm like I said, I want to be able to because I'm 36 years old, right?
Yeah.
And so I've been able to be around a little longer than the average person moving into Nashville has been able to be here and see how it kind of can be sometimes. And my prompt too for anybody moving into the city who wants to work in the industry have a couple of things they have to do beforehand. One thing is research.
Mm-hmm.
Two is understanding the severities of being able to be at a job and not be in a job the next day.
Mm-hmm.
And it comes with age, time, and experience,
for
right?
Sure.
I've fallen victim to this before. I opened up places in Nashville before I got to Broadway, and I was unfortunately let go due to the fact that they closed down or they weren't as successful as they wanted to be. My advice to people that do that is understand that you're as disposable as I can.
Mm-hmm.
And backup plan, backup plan, backup plan, backup plan.
Absolutely.
No matter how pretty, no matter how smart, because at the end of the day, we're working for somebody else.
Exactly.
And we're clocking in for somebody else's time. And we have to know that at any given time, something can happen. Like COVID, for instance.
For sure.
Nobody expected COVID
sure.
to happen. And it happened. And then we were out of jobs for like damn near 2 years. And people are still recovering from that.
Yeah, absolutely.
I hate that this is happening, and I think that maybe if these kind of conversations continue to happen, people would be more hesitant to just be so drastically like, all right, this is it, because it is people's time and it's people's energy that is spent.
Really, that's my request. Ultimately, what I'm getting at with this particular person who, wrote something that she said she'd love to, I'm shortening it because it's very long.
That's fine.
She was hired roughly a month before we closed.
Yeah.
And to that I asked.
That sucks.
To that I asked, how ethical of a decision is that, and how long did you know? And I'm asking. I'm not speculating. I'm not insinuating. I'm just asking, how long did you know, and why were you still continuing to hire new staff?
That's a fair question.
Other opportunities. This employee in particular says that she has been asked to give up time at her other job to dedicate it here. Well, that's not to say that she can't go back to that job and say, hey, can I actually have that back?
Yeah.
I think asking for more and more and more from these people, knowing fully well, and I don't know that they knew fully well, but if they did know fully well, how ethical is that?
Yeah.
And sure, if you have to close your doors for whatever reason, again, I'm not speculating what those reasons were, but if you're having to close your doors, is there an ethical way to do it? And I'm by no means saying that anything that Live did is illegal. I don't believe that anything Live did is illegal. Tennessee is an at-will state. That gives them the right to terminate any employee at any time with no reason at all, so long as it doesn't infringe on their civil rights.
Right.
What I am asking is it ethical?
Yeah.
Is it something that they should be proud of? And is it ethical for them to continue to preach on their website how much of a family-oriented company they are? Can you have both? Can you be?
Yeah. Well, they have a brand that they have to protect,
Sure.
And is it ethical? In my opinion, no. Absolutely not. Obviously, it's not ethical. But like I said, on the contrary, it's a business,
Yeah,
absolutely. And it sucks. Like it sucks bad, especially when you're on the bad end of it. It stings more than it does when you're forewarned. No, it's not ethical. It's very disrespectful. It's very undermining.
Yeah.
But it's business as usual too.
Absolutely.
And I don't take anything away from that person's experience, nor do I take anything away from the fact that they're doing that, because just like we have to protect ourselves, they have to protect themselves too. And they thought that it was necessary to just shut down and regroup.
Sure.
That's on them. Is it ethical? No, absolutely not. And that's why this conversation is important, because with the both experiences that we have, I think it's very it's very important to let the audiences know
Absolutely.
that this happens sometimes, and what do we do to avoid it?
Yeah.
And I think I want to ask you, what would you like? This is an experience you're living in real time right now, right? What would you tell like your audience, my audience, people that may or may not see this? What would you tell them, like going into the industry? Because the industry is not always glitter and gold. You see us go on trips all the time. You see us dolling ourselves up to be on social media, but it's not always positive. It's not always good. What advice can you give the next person?
I would tell anybody, first of all, if you're looking to get into the industry, especially in Nashville, know that it's competitive, know that it's cutthroat. I would tell you that if you are lucky enough to get an opportunity to really show your strengths and grow and stand above the rest, do so. Because that's what the team that I was so privileged to work with at PBR did. And what a travesty of a loss for Live to lose those employees.
Y'all have beautiful staff. I will say that.
We have beautiful staff. They're the best salespeople I know. Yeah. They decorate. They do all of the content for our social media. They stage
I've had friends that work
shoots.
there too. Actually, I'm just not sharing this, but I have friends that work there.
Yeah.
And you know, like I said, they're not here. They're not. It's unbeknownst to them. We're talking about this, so I didn't want to. But I did have friends that fell victim to a lot of things that happened. In the industry.
Yeah.
So yeah, that advice. I think that advice is given. If there's more, I think this is a never-ending cycle. And I hate that this is happening, you know, but I feel like this too shall pass, and I think it's going to make us better people. Like what are we doing now as far as, and we can go back to more stories. We don't have to end this on that note, but what are you doing now as far as building your another kind of clientele somewhere else? Yeah, so I was super fortunate to have some great connections over at John Daly's in Midtown. Oh, I love that place. Isn't it cute? Yeah, I'm so excited. I'll come see you. Yeah, I'm so excited. I have a really cool opportunity over there to kind of like build things from the ground up from the bar's perspective. It just opened, right? Yeah. Okay. So it's really exciting to me because it's a clean slate, and it's a good name on the building too. Yeah. I mean, John's an angel. Like I love him. He's a menace, but oh my gosh, such a nice man. Yeah. That little area they just built over there, like between John Daly and Odie's. I feel like that's gonna be the place to be in football season. Yeah. Because the outside is beautiful. And they've done a phenomenal job. So, we had FSU watch party last Saturday, and it was so fun. The energy was so good. Yeah. Oh my God, don't bring that. Like I said, I went to Bama. Okay. I'm still recovering from the heartbreak. Yeah. I just want to give everything up, just move and like hide on a rock. But hopefully that was like a wake up call for us. Yeah. Where'd you go to college, by the way? I went in Maine. Was it fun? Yeah. It's not as like football-y as down here, I'm sure. No, oh my gosh, nobody cares about college football in New England. Nobody. I couldn't even tell you what our teams were. Yeah. I had never considered college football until it's fun, it's a vibe. And it's so easy to get caught up in the mix. Like people are like fantasy football drafts were yesterday, so I did a fantasy football league draft yesterday. Yeah. So much fun. And see, like that's another thing. Like the light of it all is sometimes you never know what can come about from the blessings that are that look like curses from the outside. And I was very fortunate. I don't feel that the rest of the staff was so fortunate. So my story being a happy ending shouldn't, Yeah. And and for the people, I want to get some more stories over there because I mean, and if we have the opportunity, they can reach out to me as well. And we can, I think I have a decent relationship with people in the city. I don't think I've fucked anybody over. If I could help, I would love to help, I mean, I think I can help a little bit. So like, people tell your friends to reach out. Like, I can make some things shake, I think. Yeah. But the story about like with that one girl in particular, how like she got hired the week before, or the month before this happened, that's a little bit much for me. Like that kind of hits me in the heart because it's sad to like be so invested and be so excited and not know that. Because like you said, people move from other cities to move to Nashville to work because they know how exciting and how much money you can make and how many people you can meet and the connections that you can make here. Yeah. And I like at my job, people from all over the United States that work for us, people that I know moved the next day to open the place downstairs, and people that moved from like other parts of the country to work at the bar I work at. Yeah. Because they know like the possibilities that are endless if they're done right. So to have somebody come in a month before, I mean, was it something that they knew? Maybe, who knows? You know, there's so many
Right.
companies that big. There's so many different moving parts that we
Exactly.
don't know about, that we can't sometimes make ourselves get too personal about it.
Yeah.
I don't really think sometimes it's personal. I think sometimes it's just so many moving parts that we just fall victim because we're such a
Absolutely.
small pond in it.
Yeah.
And I want to kind of share that with like the younger staff members out there.
Yeah.
Don't
I mean,
take it personal, because sometimes they don't know what's going on, or sometimes they may know and they're not legally obligated.
Right.
You know, that's why we like some of the things, and I want those people to continue to reach out to people that have audiences and talk about the stories, because maybe we can make a halter to certain things that happen to us. Like, this isn't the first, it's not gonna be the last time this happens.
No.
Yeah.
And ultimately, I do kind of want to touch on that too. Since this happened and since I posted my resignation letter, I've had people coming out of the woodwork saying like, oh my God, this happened to me at this place. This happened to me at this place. I've had like a little bit of that criticism. I think, you know,
You're bringing awareness to things that happens to us. Like, it's real life shit.
The people saying like, how did you not, or like, of course they did, or like, this happens to so many people and nobody else is throwing a tantrum. And
I don't think it's everybody's experience is their experience.
To that I say, but they should, because why not speak up about it? Why not make a fuss about the lives that are being impacted? You know, by no means should they feel like they can't do that. I know so many people, I'm sure you know so many people in this industry that have had similar things happen to them, and they don't say anything. The business goes on as normal, never accepts any accountability.
I totally agree with that. 1000% actually. I think that we allow, this is kind of deja vu, because I was saying, like, the last episode I did, we fall victim because we allow ourselves to fall victim.
Exactly.
We don't say things. People think that you can't say what you want to defend yourself because you're incriminated by whatever or whoever entity you work for. And that's not any way to live. If you want to get things to get done, like right now, professional conversation, I don't think there is any negativity in this room at all. But if you allow yourself to fall victim to things that impact you directly, finances that impact you directly, I think it's unfair and unfortunate. So bringing awareness to things like this is necessary. And sometimes you're going to get backlash from people that aren't powerful enough to speak up for themselves. That's on them. So that's kind of like chatter in the background. Like I tell people all the time, like, I didn't get to this point by being a pushover. But I also didn't get to this point by being somebody who's disrespectful and dishonest and my integrity, all that stuff. But at the same time, you want things to be taken care of, you have to kind of rally. And sometimes rallying is important. I mean, finances are important in the city. I don't think you understand that it's expensive to live here. Everything you do, just walk out your door is $100. And to be put into a position where you're financially put in a bind is unfortunate. And I think that in such a way, if it's done in such a manner, I think it needs to be brought to attention.
I think it's only fair to sing the praises of the people who were impacted while at the same time asking fair questions of the people who put them in that circumstance. For me, I personally had accepted a role as lead bartender with PBR. I had kind of assumed that role early on in its kind of development phases. We had gone through several management changes, and we really just had kind of like an unstable foundation. And I had worked in management for years and at other capacities. So I kind of assumed that role. With that really came the task of asking for more and more and more of the team that I represented and helped develop. So push a little bit harder, get your sales a little bit higher, come in a little bit earlier, get your station set up a little bit better, move things a little bit quicker, you know, whatever it may be. I asked for more and more and more of them. And I would be remiss as somebody who did that to not also sit here now and speak on how hard they worked for that company.
And like I said, and that's important. Like, people need to be celebrated. in the way they need to be celebrated, because that's valid. People need validation, man.
Absolutely.
And sometimes a little bit too much is too much, but
Yeah.
I think I'm a validation whore. So like
Yeah.
I think that validation, sometimes I can be in the worst mood and my best friend can just reassure me. And I think these people need some reassurance.
Yeah.
And this is an opportunity to give them that.
For sure.
I feel like I'm sure they did a good job. Like, I mean, you open a place up, you're gonna give your best. You're gonna show your best.
Yeah.
You know, and you come into a place, you doll yourself up, you get, you know, to the nines, and you hope for the best, and you hope the clientele comes in and everything works out. Management, that's always something that's going to be a forever flowing thing. I mean, that's going to happen. It's just part of the industry. But people need to be celebrated these days, and be told like, yeah, you're valuable, and your efforts and your work is appreciated.
Yeah.
And this platform is here for that. This platform is always going to be here to encourage growth, whether it's from an individual or for a company. I don't wish any harm on this company at all.
Oh, no,
I
me
think
either.
we are
Great people work for them.
A fantastic place. That's just an unfortunate situation right now.
Absolutely.
But unbeknownst to them, or beknownst to them, there's people that have been affected negatively, and this is something that we could talk about to help them in their day-to-day lives.
Yeah, for sure.
And my advice to those people are just use this as a growing tool. I'm sure a lot of those staff members are young.
Yeah.
Maybe new to town, and this is a slap in the face, but it's a slap that is better early than later. You know what I mean?
You know, I would also love to kind of piggyback on that and use that as an opportunity to kind of introduce another member of the team's story. So she had worked for Live and PBR specifically at a different location. She moved with the company to help develop this team. At the time, she was a VIP server, as well as an entertainer, which with PBR means line dancing, bull riding, etc. She taught the entire staff like
because don't y'all stop off for a second and like they take over the floor and like do a whole performance?
It's a whole show. It's no joke. They work hard. But she taught us all of our, first bull tricks. She taught us how to like do all the crazy stuff. She's up there like,
ask her to come on the show and show me some of the dances. I would love to learn. I don't know how to line dance at all.
Yeah, she would love that. We have 2 girls who I think would just eat that up.
Yeah.
But yeah, she moved with the company to kind of like help develop this team. Obviously, it was an opportunity for her as well to relocate, and she took this on knowing.
And it's Nashville, why not?
Yeah. I'm sure she was excited at the time, and I'm speculating, but I'm sure she was. So she came to open up this location. She moves here, puts in all of the hard work, and then the location closes on her.
Now I feel like for those people that like who move specifically for the place, should at least get some kind of heads up.
A heads up.
Like hey girl, like you might want to go do something else.
Yeah. And those are very much her thoughts too, that she's shared with me at least.
Yeah. That's gut wrenching, man.
Yeah. She, I think, harbors a lot of anger. She's been with the company and I'm ballpark, I think about 5 years now. So
long enough.
5 years for 4 non-working days notice, I think is like a pretty unacceptable.
It's piss poor a little bit, because this is why I say that.
Yeah.
And because when you start getting to my age, which I don't like to admit that I'm getting old, because that's whatever, but when you start getting a little older, you start getting a little more sour about things. And it's because of stuff like this that it's like, you don't want to feel this way.
Yeah.
But give me a reason not to.
Right.
And when you hear these stories and you fall victim to a lot of these things that has happened and will continue to happen, it's like, man, I don't want to be a sour ass bartender who just says, what do you want to drink, and become an order taker.
Absolutely.
But it's like, what is this? This is why we do this.
Yeah.
Because we're putting fire back into the industry again.
Right.
And I hate to say this, but I've always been on here saying that this is a dying industry, and I don't want it to be. I dedicated a lot of time to this industry, and I hope that this is putting a fire back into the place that we found a home to. Like all my best friends that I have in life are from this industry, and this is my drive to do this, because I'm like, if nobody's gonna do it, I have to do it. Somebody has to do it.
Absolutely.
And I just wish that I hope that these stories like become fewer and far between, but. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah. I think the dying nature of the industry could be, like a conversation all its own. I think the tides are kind of shifting socially. No, me either. And I think that is kind of what made our team so unique. Like we were constantly thinking like, what can we do? And it was so staff led in terms of like, what can we do to like put on a show?
Oh, that's
what
pretty
can
cool that
we
y'all
do?
like kind of have like a say or whatever.
We really did. Every theme party was an idea that came from somebody who worked on that floor in that building. Every event was decorated by us. Like we didn't hire a company to come in and do it.
And it's pretty much all girls, so I'm pretty sure it was cute.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah.
We would come in hours, sometimes days early, and just deck the place out. Like any photo shoots or theme nights, like we would stage ourselves. We would do costume for ourselves.
You had a fun time. It seems like you had a good time there.
It was creative. It was, it was passionate. We kind of came into the live like system almost as, I don't want to say like an underdog, but we kind of right off the bat went.
Anything opening and not on Broadway is underdog. Yeah,
and then we had that massive amount of construction on Second Ave, so like we were just fighting to keep our heads above water the entire time.
And that's great. So like now I'm starting to develop a following that's outside of Nashville, thank God, and I'm blessed for that. But now we're talking about the Second Avenue thing. For people that don't know, Second Avenue went through a bombing a couple years ago, and then they had a lot of trouble rebounding because the what do you call it? The property of it was like people didn't want to invest in it, come back. There's a lot of places that wasn't able to come back. So it kind of was dead for a little while.
It was.
The rebuilding was kind of difficult for them for a little bit. Now they're finally back and up and going, which thank God for that. But for people who don't know, Second Avenue was like a curse for a little bit.
Yes. So we kind of had that like we'll show them mentality like from the beginning. We kind of came out of the gates like swinging, ready to like
it's a huge place
make a statement. Yeah, and like everything that we did, we were so proud of. Like any tiny success that we had, we were like, you know what, hell yeah. Like, and we wanted recognition so bad from, like the company that opened up in this location and then, in my opinion, provided a subpar amount of support from a marketing perspective, from largely an
I saw them pretty often on my social media, but I also follow one in Alabama too. I think I have a friend that works there, so like it kind of pops up in my algorithm. Support is perspective, to be fair. But I wasn't there. I wasn't there, so I wouldn't know. I do know what it feels like to not have support. So I feel like that is very valid. Especially when you're opening up a big place like that, like you need it has to be pretty solid,
Yeah.
But I don't know. Sometimes people turn off their humility when they open up places and just kind of see a tunnel vision of things, and people can kind of fall kind of flat, and you feel like you're not there. You feel like a ghost basically in a building.
Yeah.
That sucks. That sucks a lot.
So for us to, we found this passion, and we kind of very quickly bonded into a team that took things into our own hands and with our own time, money, ideas poured into this building. And again, by no means am I saying that what they did was illegal or that they knew that we were doing these. That's not what I'm saying. I'm asking about the ethics of the way that we were treated.
And people want closure too. Closure is a very fair thing to want. And that's fair. And maybe they'll rebuttal and maybe send some emails out and say like, hey, maybe they'll. Who knows? There's a lot of things that can happen over a course of amount of time.
So I won't name him because I don't know who knows that he made these calls, but I have a great working relationship with a member of, higher up management within the company, not in Nashville, but the company as a whole.
Okay.
I sent him a copy of my resignation letter as well. He was largely just as shocked, or he tells me he was largely just as shocked as we were about the way that
the news was broken. I take it with a grain of salt, but okay.
If it was anybody but this person, I also would take that with a grain of salt. He seemed genuinely remorseful about the way that the news was broken to the staff. And he did take it upon himself to call every member of the staff.
Wow, that's nice. That's
he is a fantastic man, and I have nothing but positive things to say about him and his influence. He rose above the rest. He called us to apologize to each and every member. It's not his apology to have one of my coworkers put it that way, and I think that is the best way that she could possibly put it. She said that she was appreciative of his apology, but it wasn't his sorry to have. And
that's fair, yeah.
I really do stand by that as well.
But good job for him, though. That shows the kind of person he is. I appreciate that from a outside perspective.
Yeah, I have nothing but great things to say about him. I will also say that our general manager, who I assume would be comfortable with me using his name, everybody knows who he was, Travis. He was also fantastic in, answering staff's questions and, like being accessible to them, even just to vent. I'm sure that man got an earful from every single member.
He probably had a lot come at him.
Yeah, it wasn't his decision. He was also, in his opinion, given a small amount of notice, and he did everything in his power he offered to write reference letters. Like, he really stepped up in a time when our senior management, in my opinion, did not.
Yeah. But I do want to say this as we're wrapping up. What can we expect from you now? Like, so I want some of your friends and people that you work with to reach out. I want to kind of do some more things. I don't want to harp on that, but I mean, maybe showcase some talents. A lot of these people are dancers. Like, I would love to do that. But we're going to be venturing off to John Daly's. Yeah. And we're going to be following you at John Daly's, and we're going to be supporting you. I hope you're excited.
I'm really excited.
It's a good time to be there too, because football season's right here. Yeah. And like I said, a blessing can always be found at the end of a curse. For sure. And I'm proud of you. I'm happy that you were able to find the strength to do this for you, not only yourself, but your friends and your coworkers as well. And hopefully this will be something that can resonate the right way, to where even if just clarification is all that they get is something, you know what I mean? Yeah. And also shout out to you for like having the gumption to be able to be on a platform that could potentially like a lot of people will see it and be here and show face and be like, you know what, like this is not okay. But we're gonna be professional, we're gonna show respect. I appreciate that out of you.
It's the bare minimum that those people deserve.
And lastly, my advice to them is just to like stay steadfast and know that at any given time, no matter where you are and where you are in life and what job you decide to pick, know that you're working for someone else. Mm-hmm. And while you're doing that, you have to understand that whatever decisions are made aren't the ones that you are making. Right. So you have to always have a backup plan. Yeah. And I've learned that through experience, and I've learned that through going through the same shit you guys are going through. And it doesn't make an excuse for it, but to be here and be able to share the experiences means a lot to me, because I see a lot that I've gone through in the industry too that's put me to this point where I'm like, you know what, I don't care who says anything about what I have going on. Mm-hmm. I don't care about the perspective of like the podcast if you don't see the vision. Yeah. Because this is for things like this. It's for the growth. It's for showing and broadcasting talents and broadcasting people's individuality and stuff like that they don't get recognition for. Yeah. And I'm always going to do that. I'm always going to celebrate my partners in this industry. Yeah. If nobody else does. Yeah. So I want to, like I said, thank you again for being here. Tell your friends that we are always here for them as well. This is a safe space, and that's one of probably a few safe spaces that you can go to now. And thanks a lot. I think you're a beautiful soul. I think you're a beautiful person, and I wish you the best at John Daly's. And don't lose contacts, because I'm going to be checking in from time to time. Thank you so much for this opportunity.
Well, thank you so much for having me, and thank you for giving me the opportunity to shed light on, the people that made that place special while it was.
We love them. We love them, and we love the people, the future thems, Yeah. I'm just hopefully that this can help them a little bit and just give them some. Know that I end up here alone. You know what I mean? Yeah. Tag me, add me, whatever. I don't care. Whatever we can do to help, I'm always going to do that.
Absolutely. Well, thank you.
Heck yeah.
Appreciate it.
That's a wrap, babe. All right.
Hell yeah.